Give me my theme music! Give me my theme music!
What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and I appreciate you guys for all joining me on this Wednesday afternoon in February, as of course we had some news in the last 24 hours. It's official, it's not official, but when you have Adam Munster, Tiger, DNVR, all of those people reporting on it, Duke the Scoops, at this point, it's out there. I don't think Colorado wanted to post it just yet publicly, but with all of the main news outlets carrying it, I figured we would discuss it here because there is a lot of intricacies when it has to come with this hire, and I want to cover all of it. I want to take a look at his background. I want to take a look at his playing time. I want to take a look at what it could mean recruiting-wise and how there are a lot of connections. I also want to talk about the fact that this is probably not just a one-year hire or has the potential to not just be a 1, 2, or 3-year hire. No, I think this new hire is going to stay around, be able to form a duo with Warren Sapp for many years to come, as so long as Coach Prime is here. And so those are all the things that I want to chat about with you today. So appreciate you for joining me in the video today. Appreciate you, Jeanette Fox. Welcome in. Yep, Little Bucket, one of the best hires. We got to slow up on that. We can't say that about every person that gets hired. I mean, I still probably think that Andrew Swayze is probably the best offseason hire, but this is definitely very close, along with the promotion of George Hilo, along with the addition of like an Andre Girard to the offensive line room to make a three-headed monster in there. Let's just talk about it. The fact is, this offseason, Coach Prime has made some fantastic hires to the coaching staff, along with his assistant coaches helping with that, because mind you, this hire, I believe, is more Robert Livingston than it is Coach Prime. But overall, I do believe and agree that we are setting up to have one of the best coaching staffs, if not the best coaching staff in the entire college football. I also forget about Marshall Faulk being probably one of the best hires of the offseason. There's just so many of them, guys. So let's just agree to the fact that the coaching staff is ready to go. Are the players ready to go? And are the players we're going to be eventually bringing in going to be ready to go? So those are all things that we've got to think about and talk about as we go through this hire today. TK, how you doing? Appreciate you dropping by. A lot of great hires for sure, Brandon. I think we're all loving it. Good afternoon, Adrienne. Yes, sir. This recent hire I also believe was all Livingston for sure. Yes, and we'll talk about it, Brandon. I'll talk about all the connections. I'm going to go through the whole history, guys. I've seen a lot of different articles picking and choosing some things. I've seen a lot of the videos here on YouTube covering some aspects of this hire. My goal, and what I've been doing for the last couple of hours, and why I didn't go live earlier when a lot of people were with the breaking news and all that, I really wanted to dive into this hire and connect the dots to really show you all of the pieces of why this hire is a home run, what it could mean for this team, and honestly, to make you guys feel a lot better, because this answers a lot of questions that I think a lot of you have regularly. For those of you who are in here all the time, I think this answers a lot of your requests for the team, whether that's with coaches, recruits, players, development, whatever that may be. All of that is getting answered with this hire combined now with the rest of the hires, because it's absolutely blowing up. USO pipeline on the way. Yep, USO pipeline, I should say. Big 12 championship, here we come. Hopefully we can get a Chris Henry visit. That's right, TK. We're going to talk about that. That is a massive thing that just kind of broke. I will give credit to, on Twitter, it was broken by the Silver Bulletin. Not really broken by them, but they posted a couple days ago, and then DNVR connected the dots there. We'll go over that as well. So appreciate that. What's good, Turbo? Welcome in. Welcome in. Jeanette, Chris Henry is one of the best 2026 recruits in the entire class. And he is committed to Ohio State. He is only taking visits currently, before today, USC, Oregon, and Ohio State as his official visits. I have a feeling Colorado will get added in there, and we'll talk about that because Chris Henry, the number one recruit, or one of the number one recruits in the 2026 class, has ties to our brand new defensive line coordinator. Appreciate you. Northside, how's it going? It's a great day to be a Buff. Bezos got it. A dog. And I love David coming in here. Our front seven will be the strength of this team. And you got to admit, they were kind of the strength last year. We led the conference in sacks. You can almost guarantee we're leading the conference in sacks again. We can all guarantee and agree on that, right? Oh, Keith, appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Thanks for congratulations on the move back to Colorado. We'll be back in Colorado in June. Can't wait. Can't wait to be back in Colorado. You don't understand. As somebody who lived there my whole life, leaving there, you miss it every single day. And Demistocles, you've got it right here. Great hire, and the Polynesian pipeline's open again to Colorado. This is what you guys have all been wanting for. The number one thing that I hear everybody screaming on a daily basis is they want more of those big white linemen, and they want some more Polynesian guys on the defensive and offensive line. And this is going to connect that, which we will talk about that here in just a moment. That's right, Northside Buffs forever. Anthony, appreciate you. Seems these recent hires are setting up the next generation of coaches for Colorado when Coach Prime does eventually move on. I'm calling it now. Coach Robert Livingston, CU head coach in the waiting. I did say when Livingston got hired and did so well last year, whenever Coach Prime does move on, I could see him being the next in command, the coach in waiting. So I'm happy to see that. And here's what we'll also be talking about, Little Bucket. We know Coach Peko's bringing his sons. That's a huge plus. And that's what we're going to talk about as well. So Chris Henry, we need him badly. Turbo's being raised by Pac-Man Jones. He adopted him, so we have a chance with Chris Henry Jr. and Chode Stray. We'll talk about the tweet, but it's looking like Peko was supposed to also be kind of a mentor to Chris Henry Jr. And Chris Henry Jr. was moving to California to be with Peko for his high school year. Now I don't know how that's going to work. The way I look at that, I'm like, well, he's going to be in Colorado, so is he going to stay in California? And I don't know what that looks like, but there is a ton of connections there. I think Peko has a son or nephew. Yep, it is his son, TK, 3-star Southern California defensive lineman, 310-pounder, by the way. So you can see his recruiting is going to heat up for Colorado. We got so many young receivers with Chris Henry fit. Lil Bucket, when you get a guy like Chris Henry, it doesn't matter who else is here. Are probably some of our receivers going to leave? Potentially. But Chris Henry is probably one of the best receivers you could possibly get. So, Terrell Timmons has to move on eventually. Even if it's not this year, he's going to eventually run out of eligibility. So there's going to be space. You always are going after receivers for sure. I think Peko adds a different dynamic or a new perspective to that D-line. What's up, Sunshine? Appreciate you. Peko's nephew is at Hawaii, might transfer as well. Everything is open. Everything is open. So, as you guys don't know, if you already haven't got from the chat, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. But the new defensive line coach for the Colorado Buffaloes is Domata Peko, ex-NFL player. Just a little bit about Peko and his NFL playing career. 15 years in the NFL. Included a very, very long stint with the Cincinnati Bengals. Before that, in college, of course, he started out at community college, excelled there, was able to get a scholarship and follow his brother's footsteps, who played at Michigan State. Had one of the most iconic Michigan State moments in the history of that school. If you ask any Michigan State fan, they will tell you that Peko is one of the guys that probably never has to buy a drink in a bar in the state of Michigan, at least if it comes to Michigan State, because he had the very long fumble recovery return for a touchdown against Michigan, helped Michigan State upset and beat Michigan. So Domata Peko, Michigan State legend, gets drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, longtime Cincinnati Bengal player on that defensive line, did wonderful things, has a career number of 20 sacks in his NFL career, went on after that, played at a couple different teams, including my Denver Broncos for 2 seasons where he excelled. He really did. He was a great piece of the defensive line for the Denver Broncos. Excellent, excellent player, and everybody has such great things to say about him. Finished out his career, I believe, 1 year with the Ravens. And then this past year, so here's where everything comes into play, guys. For those of you that have been listening, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when it came to not a couple weeks ago, but when we found out that Damian Lewis was leaving. We talked about, okay, so the person they're going to bring in has ties to Robert Livingston, has ties to Colorado and the team in a way, and some of the people. And that is where the Domata Peko stuff comes from. So Domata Peko, obviously longtime Cincinnati Bengal, very, very close with Cincinnati Bengal coach Mike Zimmer. For those of you that don't know, Mike Zimmer has a very close connection with this program. He spent a little bit of time when Coach Prime came over to Colorado as a coaching analyst before becoming the defensive coordinator at the Dallas Cowboys this past season. And this past season, while he was the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Domata Peko took on a defensive line analyst assistant coaching job for his first year of coaching after retiring from the NFL. So Domata Peko does have some defensive line coaching experience working under other coaches at the NFL level, now moving down. And for a lot of people out there, when Coach Livingston came in, everybody was like, wow, I can't believe Coach Livingston would come in, just not bring any of his own guys in, keep all of Coach Prime's coaches, and go and be an unbelievable coach like he was. Well, this is probably one of the first hires that I would say is mainly Robert Livingston. Obviously, Mike Zimmer's connection is going to help with that. He can vouch for Peko to Coach Prime to say, absolutely. Livingston has a good relationship from both coaching Peko and obviously now the connection between Zimmer and Livingston to Domata Peko. So all of that is going to tie into why Domata Peko is now a coach. By the way, he was with the team yesterday, I believe, or today on videotape. We saw him again, bringing up the fact that a lot of people are not, looking at that. But that is a big, big part of it. Then we also have the other pieces to this, and I'm going to go through it. I know there's already some arguments in the chat. I see Don't Give a Damn coming in saying Chris Henry Jr. is not coming to Colorado no matter what. There's a little bit of a problem with that, okay? There is an absolute chance that he would follow Peko, okay? This is not about the team. This is about family, because Domata Peko is Chris Henry Jr.'s family. Pac-Man Jones is Chris Henry Jr.'s family. And that makes you Coach Prime's family. That makes you Robert Livingston's family. So when you want to say that there's no chance and it's going to take so much to get him out of Ohio State, it only takes one mistake by Ohio State and the recruitment process to sour this kid on his connections to that team to say, hey, I'm going to go someplace where I know I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be with people who care about me, who love me, who I know have the best interest for me. And it's not just about, okay, I'm going to bring in the next big thing or whatever. It is absolutely about relationships. And I think that that's going to play a big part. Is it guaranteed he's coming to Colorado? No, but to say that there is no chance or that he's not, that's going to be a different aspect to that. So Domata Peko added as the defensive line coach. Let's talk about the connections and ties as you guys also are talking about it in the chat. The other tie that we have when it comes to Domata Peko is his son. Okay. Joseph Peko, 2026 class, 6'3", 310 pound, currently as a 3-star defensive lineman out of Southern California. Right now has offers on the table from Arizona, Boston College, BYU, Cal, Louisville. So My guess is you will see a Colorado offer here momentarily, and I also believe that he will probably join his father here at Colorado. It absolutely makes sense. Okay, so that's one connection. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about with this connection that nobody's really talking about is the fact that if you got Joseph Peko to come to Colorado, please tell me that you don't believe that Domata Peko would not stay at least for the duration of his son being at Colorado. I get that his son could transfer. I get that Domata Peko could take a job somewhere else. But being under Coach Prime, being in the system, being successful, bringing in your son, it's a family atmosphere with all of the brothers and siblings and all that stuff. To me, it would scream that Joseph Peko would come. If he comes, Domata Peko stays at least through the 3 to 4 years that Joseph is here. So again, between obviously Warren Sapp, going through an offseason where he didn't get picked up by Miami, might even be a little bit sour towards Miami because he's had like 2 opportunities to coach there, stuck around. I think that Warren Sapp is going to stay here for the duration of Coach Prime's time here. I think a Domata Peko would also stay, not to mention if Coach Prime were to leave in 3-4 years, Livingston becomes the head coach, then maybe Domata Peko moves up, becomes a defensive coordinator, or helps Robert Livingston at that point. So there's a lot of stuff building up long term, which is what you guys wanted. I hear that all the time. We need to stop with these one and done coaches. Well, here's how you stop with the one and done coaches. You get guys that have deeper ties to the team, the coaching staff. You also make sure, that you bring in the things that they want, bringing in Livingston's guys now, bringing in Peko's son for Domata Peko to recruit him and be a part of the team along with, Mathis's kids, along with when the Sanders boys were here. Like, you're going to see that family atmosphere continue. And so this is a really, really important aspect. And Coach Dre gets this too, because we'll go on to the second half. So here is the information about Chris Henry Jr. So this is actually back from February 13th. So before we found out that Peko was going to be the coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Ohio State 2026 commit, number 1 wide receiver, Chris Henry Jr. is transferring to Mater Dei High School in California and will be under the guidance of former Bengal Domata Peko, sources tell the Silver Bulletin. Henry was in Cincinnati at Withrow High School last year and will now take his talents out west. As those of you who know, Chris Henry Jr.'s dad tragically passed away. Teammates with Domata Peko, teammates with Pac-Man Jones, familiar with Robert Livingston, familiar with Mike Zimmer, obviously from their connections with the Bengals. So all of that is tying into the fact that Chris Henry Jr. is family to these kids. And these adults are Chris Henry Jr.'s family now as well. You cannot negate the fact that they are blood and what needs to happen. Okay, I get it. I get this comment here. He's building the Ohio State relationship for years. Buckeyes are a force when it comes to 5-star wide receiver. That's the point, though. How many 5-star wide receivers does Ohio State need? How many of those guys don't pan out or don't get to play? That's my question. It's something to think about as this ramps up, because Coach Dre gets it here right now. That happens, but Pac-Man Jones calls Prime Pops, and if they was no chance, Pac-Man would have told Prime, don't worry about, but for them to just offer him this past week says a lot. Like Chris Henry Jr., by the way, just got offered by Colorado. This is not, it's all coming together, guys. Chris Henry Jr. just got offered by Colorado. Ohio State produces 5 stars. You mean 5 stars go to Ohio State? It's not like Ohio State grabs 2 stars and they become 5 stars because they go to Ohio State. I don't get this comment right here. Okay? The roots of the tree run deep, and it starts with Prime. Without him, there is no connection. He is a father figure to Pac-Man. Pac-Man is a father figure to Henry. There is a reason that Chris Henry Jr. was offered in the last 2 weeks, and the last 2 weeks was also the connection between Domata Peko joining the staff at Colorado. You guys can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. There it goes. Same with London Merritt, right? What happened to him? I thought London Merritt was going to Ohio State. He had long ties to Ohio State. He did. Yeah, they're 5 stars in high school. It's not like Ohio State is taking terrible wide receivers and developing them. They are taking the best wide receivers and they're showing up and being the best wide receivers. That comment makes no sense that they produce. They don't produce 5 stars. They just play 5 stars and don't harm their development. Ohio State is wide receiver. You can't keep everyone. They will jump in the portal. Hey, exactly, Brad. You can't take everyone. Yeah, they're going to take guys. Yeah. Don't forget, Jordan Seaton had an OV to OSU the week before committing to Colorado. Stale talking point. Agreed. I will wait to see what happens, but this puts us in play even more for Chris Henry. And it's honestly why. I mean, Coach Dre got it. Like, Colorado does not offer Chris Henry Jr. out of nowhere after having no relationship with him the same time that they have Domata Peko become a coach. Like, does that not... I'm sorry. I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to that stuff. I believe, especially with Coach Prime, that everything is calculated and very, very planned out. Okay? Very, very planned out. 100%. I think it's a great hire. I think you can get great players in the Polynesian community. And we got to talk about this too, guys. This is something else nobody has, as much talking about. Okay? The fact that Domata Peko is another Hall of Famer. Now, he's a Polynesian football Hall of Famer, but he's a Hall of Famer nonetheless. So another interesting fact about Domata Peko. So, longtime NFL player, already has started his coaching career, so he's not coming in completely fresh like Warren Sapp was, by the way, but we all know Warren Sapp succeeded just fine. He is a Polynesian Hall of Famer, has deep, deep ties to not only the Polynesian community, the Southern California community with his son who is playing football there. So there's another tie of somebody we'll probably be getting. And on top of that, you've got the ties to this. And so this comment right here. Okay, so his sister's at Ohio State. Did the Sanders brothers go with their sister or did they go with their father? If you have 2 father figures at a single university, where do you go? Or where will you go? I love this, Rev. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Coach Dre always does that. Adam versus Neely needs to be a celebrity boxing match. What happened? I don't know what happened. I saw there was a deleted tweet online. There's something going on right now with the media community, I guess, right now. I saw that something happened with Adam Munster Tiger. That got deleted. Someone will let me know because I missed it completely. Trying to catch up. I have no clue what happened. I really don't. I'm on Team Adam. What happened, Dave? What happened? You gotta let me know. I missed it. I missed it by like seconds because I saw that Osakin's ducktail, as our good friend Dancy's Fade used to be called, talked about that. That's where we're at. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so that is where we're at on that. So to summarize, obviously, Domata Peko coming to Colorado is a massive get for this team, and the coaching staff is looking fantastic right now. Fantastic. Neely thinks he can only put out news for CU, which is crazy. Was he mad that he didn't get his video out in time and Munster Tiger scooped it up last night when he said, I guess the cat's out of the bag and posted it? Is that what happened? Exactly. Cam gets it. I'm sorry, but I would prefer my father when it comes to football over just going to a school where my sister is. Neely's butthurt that Adam scooped him up. Prime builds last relationships. Don't underestimate that. You're absolutely right, Spurtree. Absolutely right. You better know how relationships work. Here we go. Coach Dre's spitting, guys. With Peko, has the trust of the kid that was coming to play for him in high school, goes to a college that hadn't offered, but then offer. Think, folks. It's all lining up. It's all lining up. It's all lining up. It really is. Uncle was talking like it was fake news. Oh, so Uncle Neely was trying to say it was fake just so that he could reveal it later on. What is going on with this? I mean, you guys the team's got to realize, and I'm sorry, Uncle Neely's got to realize, Coach Prime's got to realize, like, the way they did the offensive line coaching announcement where Neely revealed Gunnar White was not the right way to do things. Okay? That was not the right way to do things with how they did that, without telling Andre Girard the plan, without telling Matt McChesney the plan. You owed that at least to those guys. So I will give that. Like, yeah, I didn't love Matt's reaction to the whole thing, and we're good now, and it's obviously better. And I spoke to Matt, and he's good. He's good. But if this is all happening behind the scenes, like, come on, can we get things figured out? Can we get things figured out? Like, Adam Munster-Tiger is AP Press. If he gets a scoop, he has to post it. That's his job. So I would agree, if this is all what we're talking about and what's happening, Dave, I'm with you. I'm on Adam's team. I'm team Munster-Tiger. I'm team that. Like, I get that. Like, it's not my job to break news. It's not my job to break news. I just post YouTube videos and I don't have any sources. Adam Munster-Tiger has sources. He's in Boulder and he's reporting on the team on a daily basis. That's his job, to break that news. Well, and I know the Marshall Faulk thing happened, and a lot of us knew about that before Neely and the team posted about that as well. I think he was a little mad. Here's the thing, guys. You go look at the views. You go look at the YouTube analytics and statistics. When we talk about this stuff before Neely does, like, our channels blow up. It does happen. So, I mean, there is an aspect to being able to break that news. So I can see, yeah, Neely probably is not going to get the same views he would have had he broken that news. So, of course, he's a little ticked. But to be mad at Adam out of everyone is not the thing to do. Not the thing to do. And here's the thing. The whole, we need to be first. We're fans. We just want to know as soon as possible. This team does a terrible job of taking way too long to announce things. Everyone's got to realize that in a day and age of cell phones and social media, you guys are filming everything with the team. You don't think that internet sleuths are not going to look at video and see things like the fact that Marshall Faulk was at the team, visiting the team back in December? And then the rumors about what the ties were to the running backs coach couldn't have put two and two together, or the fact that Matt H put together all of the clues for the Domata Peko stuff, at the beginning of the week, and posted that, and he got a bunch of hate from some people who were like, "You shouldn't be breaking that news. You shouldn't be talking about it." Like, I don't think he knew anything. I think he just took the pieces that were in front of him. This team throws everything in your face. If they don't want this stuff breaking, then don't provide that access. It's going to happen. Things like that are going to happen. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Like, we're all watching this. Well, Ali, yeah, he was wrong, though, because it was official. Agreed, it was. So that's what Neely was saying. There's more to it than that, so much more. Okay, Nandi, I get it. Whoa, LeVar Ball had his foot amputated. Wow. Oh, geez. Okay, that's a little crazy breaking news, Dave. I don't think it's a battle. That is not what was said. Ung said that there was no official notification of the hire and people were jumping the gun. I mean, we all talked about Marshall Faulk before there was an official post, to the team. Neely technically also posted a video about Gunnar White before there was an official post about Gunnar White happening. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Adam's a professional gets, he triple confirms anything before. Well, and that's what I think too. Like, whenever Adam says something, I know that it's true because he does not post anything unless he has full confirmation. Adam is not a news breaker journalist. Like, if he posts something, it's because he was told to post that and got that information out there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Too much covered around this team for anyone to think they're going to break all the news. Exactly, Turbo. Like, that's hilarious. Okay, Coach Dre, what we got? Yeah, him and Zimmer, because it brought in Peko to Dallas, and Zimmer and Prime and Zimmer are best friends. His son and nephew's on the staff again. Relationships is what Prime talks to you guys about. And that's what we talk about when we say who's going to take over these like coaching positions. It's always like, who has connections to Prime? Marshall Faulk had connections to Prime. Robert Livingston had connections through Mike Zimmer to Prime. It's all connected all the time whenever any decisions are happening. You can tell Neely wants to be first with anything when it comes to CU football. It's money, guys. I mean, his job is to produce media content for CU, and he gets paid, I believe. I don't know if he gets paid. Anybody can confirm, or if he wants to confirm it himself for some reason he's watching this. Do you get paid by the team, or do you just get paid by the YouTube channel? So I completely understand it. I do. Views get you money on YouTube, and that money is what pays your bills. So you got to do what you got to do. And having access to Colorado like Neely does, he is going to get views. Lots of views. Russ, who do you see us more close to getting for the 2026 class? I mean, there's a lot. It's too early, Robert, for who we're going to get in the 26. The only one I could probably tell you right now would be Joseph Peko. At this point, like, that's the for sure 2026 player I'm sure we will be getting. What's going to happen is Coach Prime will stop giving access to all. And if he does, he does. We'll be just like every other college football fan base. I don't think that'll happen, Jeanette, because, Bucky, Darius, they all get paid off of their YouTube views, and their job is the YouTube channel. And so those views are going to be what pays them. So you can't really cut off access without cutting off their ability to get an income. So that's going to be kind of the hard thing. The genie's out of the bottle, so to speak, when it comes to that coverage. At the end of the day, Munster Tiger was right. Team Adam since 07, says Brady. Let's not make it about Unc or Adam. I get it too. I don't know why that all started. I don't know why it needed to. That's how they all get paid. Exactly. Brandon, you get it. That's how everybody's making their money. They're not just going to all of a sudden just turn off the faucet for those people. The narrative you and Adam are starting about Neely wants to break news first is a wild narrative. Donnie, I'm just taking what he said on his live that, he's mad that some news people want to just be the first to break news. That's all I'm repeating. And then I'm repeating all the deleted tweets that happened online. That's all. We can move on for that. I think it's a misunderstanding. They shouldn't blow it out of context. Yeah. I mean, we will. We're done. We're done with it. He wanted to break himself. Check out Bucky's ducktail and the conversation he had with Adam about the situation. It's pretty funny. I started to, and I got lost on it. Because again, that's the connection I had, because the original tweet got deleted. And so I had no idea what was happening, why it was happening. I just saw Adam Munster Tiger's responses to Osakin's ducktail. Who's another great follow, by the way. If you're on Twitter, go follow that account. If you haven't already, it used to be Dancy's Fade. Rather than go with Dancy to talk about Mississippi, they just changed their name to Osakin's Ducktail, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. And then Adam Munster Tiger reposted the article again an hour later saying, I guess we're allowed to talk about it now, and then got to repost it all over again. Oh, and it got deleted again. He deleted that one too. He deleted that one where he was met. Like, obviously the team's having some conversations behind the scenes about what happened. There was definitely some misunderstanding when it comes to that. So overall, just a bunch of weird things. Who cares? Let's just talk about the news. Let's talk about the news. Domata Peko is your defensive line coach with Warren Sapp. Absolutely home run hire. It's going to open up a lot of avenues when it comes to recruiting. Use Domata Peko's connections to the Polynesian community. Let's go get some more Polynesian players. Let's bring in his son. Do whatever it takes to get a Chris Henry Jr. to commit to Colorado, to come at least on an official visit and see how things are, especially this spring. That's going to be what we're looking for now. Let's see if we can get him on a visit. If we get him on a visit, I think, don't give a damn, you said it earlier. If we get him on a visit, then you will be feeling much better about the fact that Chris Henry is in play for Colorado. Okay? Absolutely. I think that's going to be the thing to watch for. The thing that we really need to pay attention to and find out, how that's going to work, what's going to happen, and whether or not we can at least get a look from him. So again, just continually increasing the staff, guys. I mean, the amount of NFL experience on the staff. You add a guy with 15 years experience in Domata Peko. You have Warren Sapp, obviously Hall of Famer, Coach Prime, Hall of Famer, Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer, Tommy Robinson, decades of coaching running back experience. Okay, Robert Livingston, obviously NFL pedigree, now 1 year of college football under his belt where he did unbelievable things turning around that defense from the prior year. I will give Robert Livingston all of the credit. I will give it all of the credit for sure. That's where I'm at on that. Yep. Don't bother you, please. We moving on. Love and respect. Yep, we're good. We're good. Yes. Okay. So when it comes to this, excited to see where this goes. What are you guys most looking forward to with the Domata Peko hire? What is it that you guys think he's going to bring the most? What are you excited about? And I did just see this. We did just offer an O-lineman from Honolulu an hour ago. We're already working. Yeah, the Polynesians are going to start pouring in, which is great. Get that coaching and player pedigree into Colorado like it used to be. By the way, guys, Colorado does have a good traditional history of bringing in Polynesian players. And you have to look no further than the legend himself, Sal Anesi, quarterback for CU back in the national championship days, obviously passed away tragically from cancer. Again, with Coach Mack passing away recently, if you have not seen The Gospel According to Mack, 30 for 30, it's available on Disney+, Hulu, ESPN. Go watch it. Go watch it, guys. It tells you a lot about the history of Colorado. It tells you a lot about what Coach Mack did here. And I'm being honest, we don't have Coach Prime at Colorado if it's not for Coach Mack way back in the 80s and 90s. So those are all things that you got to pay attention to. Colorado has a long traditional history with Polynesian players, and I'm really excited for us to get some more of those guys back in Boulder. You know, they're tough, they're strong. I want to get that work ethic back to Boulder. I mean, we're starting to get it obviously with Coach Prime and his culture that he brings into this program, but seeing that already on the move when it comes to offers, when it comes to visits, I'm excited to get that kind of experience, those kind of backgrounds back to Boulder and to get this thing going, okay? Because it's absolutely be good. Brandon, I believe another big analyst will be hired also. I could see that too. I mean, again, if any of Coach Prime's friends want to get into coaching, Coach Prime will find a way to get him on the staff, get them on the staff. Russ, you're going to be at the games when you move back to Colorado. I'm going to go to at least a couple games. I looked at getting season tickets. It's just not in the cards now with the cost of moving and transitioning. I didn't realize how expensive they actually were because you're just looking at the posted price for season tickets, but I forgot completely that you also have to make a donation to the Buff Club to match your ticket price. So really the tickets are double the listed price. It's a weird thing. But I wasn't paying attention at the time. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to buy nosebleeds for $3,000 right now. So going to take some time. And I'll probably get season tickets next year, so long as they're available. We'll see how good we are this year. But that's what's going to happen. So I'll be going to a couple games. I went to a game last year, but I will go to a couple games, and who knows? The one thing I absolutely love about being close in Colorado to places is the amount of people who have season tickets and things for stuff, and then they find out that you're a fan and give you tickets when they can't go. Because to them, it's not a big deal. So who knows? Maybe I'll get into more games than I think. Also going to look at just, what it takes to have a little more connections to the team. I do have one connection to the team right now that I'm trying to work with, talk to, see what kind of connections I can make there. It's all about networking, which I talked about on the episode where I talked about moving back to Colorado. So it's going to take some time of networking. I'll make sure to keep you guys all updated if anything changes, but appreciate it. Really do. Just makes sense from Prime. Been doing it. Coach Dre thinks so too. Yep. Make sure you hit the like button for me and my channel. I appreciate you, Coach Dre. I appreciate all you guys. Okay. I appreciate all the day ones, Northside, Coach Dre, Lil Bucket, Cam, just some of you guys that are in here right now, obviously. Don't give a damn. All of you guys that have been here for so long. Allie, so many different people. Jeanette, Adrian, Turbo, Robert, all of you guys have been fantastic in just helping this channel grow. And so I always appreciate when you guys drop by, take your time out of your day to watch my content, to interact with my content. Absolutely love it. So appreciate you guys, and will always appreciate you guys. And I will be honest, no matter how big this channel gets, the number one thing that I want to continue doing is interact with the chat. I know that there are other channels that they don't do much with the chat. I know there are channels that don't do much with the comments. I want to make sure that I just keep doing that no matter what happens, because you guys are really, really what makes this work. And I understand that. I would be nothing without that. It was funny enough. I had somebody from a YouTube community watch one of my videos, and they just commented you didn't even provide any commentary. Why is your channel growing and popular? And I'm like, you didn't watch all my videos. You watched a highlight video where I did not provide any analyst or analyzing. analysis. I don't know why that word can come, but there's that. Kruger, BYU, Utah, is that Polynesian, Colorado have to follow the blueprint. Well, don't forget Arizona State. And right now you look at a Joseph Peko, he has offers from Arizona. He has offers from those teams. So it's just where it makes sense. Okay. It really does. T.O. needs to be on this. I would love a Ray Lewis. Ed Reed needs to be here. If we get Ed Reed hired, guys, it's over. It's over. Like, greatest coaching staff ever. You get a Ray Lewis or an Ed Reed, even just one of those guys, or T.O. officially, or Chad Johnson. I don't think Chad Johnson. I think he likes the podcasting, guys. I think he's always joking when he says he wants to join the staff because he doesn't have the time to join the staff. He wants us to keep doing the podcast. It's successful. Now, will he, roll up to see you every now and then to see Coach Prime and to see the boys? Absolutely. Probably not as much as T.O. does. I mean, T.O. loves living here on the weekends, but I also don't think he wants to be tied down by the status of coaching. I really don't. Brandon, we have spot to fill, Big George spot, Hilo spot, another defense analyst spot. So it could happen. Yeah, we got some spots open. Appreciate you, Unspoken. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Y'all, these mainstream guys doubting see you again. Didn't they learn their lesson? 100%. Appreciate the love. Of course, Turbo. I appreciate you coming by as always. Ocho's not in the mix. He's joking when he says that, guys. You got to realize that. Of course, Coach Dre. I always appreciate your comments and coming in every single time. With Livingston being extended, I'm excited to see how he can recruit. Seems like players and coach could get some dogs with the added stability. I agree. And the more that he expands his coaching staff and the more that these guys are consistent, meaning they come back year after year, the more that that's going to create a buzz, the more that's going to create momentum in recruiting, all things that we will see frequently. May not be as easy getting tickets from friends and associates like years past, especially if they're destined for another great year this year. You'd be surprised. I mean, a lot of people, yes, they'll come to every game, but people have things that happen. They have family plans. They have other things, and they could care less about selling their tickets. Trust me, I found that out. Okay. Let's see. The year the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, I went to like 15 games and I paid for 2 of those just because, again, I have friends who have corporate seats to a lot of this stuff. And technically with corporate seats, you're not allowed to sell them. There's a lot of legalese and tax implications. And so the best thing they can do is give them away. And so they give them away to people they know. They give them away to friends, family, other things like that. I mean, there's always going to be tickets out there. You'd be surprised. Networking is key for that. I'm sure David can attest to that living by Boulder. I'm sure he has before. Then again, obviously not being in Boulder now when it's like the team is killing it and it's going to be a little harder, but that's where we're at. Yeah, Ocho's always trolling. He's having fun with it. Yeah, appreciate you, Timothy. Thank you so much. Chris Henry Jr., the black and gold just seems right. Oh, guys. Could you imagine a wide receiver core where it's like a Chris Henry Jr., Omarion Miller in his senior year, Draylon Miller, Cam Michael. Oh my gosh, guys, this receiver room is just getting so big. I love this. This just got announced as well. Love it. Absolutely, Coach Dre. Deshaun Jackson, Coach Jackson coming in with the Coach Prime like hire. Delaware State and Coach Jackson hiring Bronco Clinton Portis. And I love, Coach Dre, that you said Bronco Clinton Portis because he was unbelievable as a Bronco, but he wasn't here long. But I do love Portis because it did give us Champ Bailey. So I will always love Clinton Portis, one of my favorite players to use in Madden back in the day as well. And Clinton Portis back in NCAA too when he played for the U. Woo! Coach Prime's the CEO. He lets the coordinators coach. Exactly. Cam Michael, welcome in. Used to be able to get sideline passes easy. Now just tickets are hard to come by. Oh, I get it, Brady. And that's more too because the sideline's just getting full with so many people. And Coach Prime is probably going to lock that down more and more as more people abuse it. Because I do know there are some content creators that have abused that in the past and gotten, that kind of taken away as a possibility. So something to think about, something to look at. We'll see what happens. That's a good thing, Coach Dre. Chris Henry Jr. coming to Colorado. Mark my words, it's happening. See, Robert's on board. Coach Dre's on board. Facts, KM. I just believe that Pac-Man wants what's best for him and knows what Prime has done for him. I think both him and Peko will also be able to relay that as the time comes. If Peko coaches here for the next year, loves it, loves what he sees, loves what's happening, you can't tell me that he's not going to call up Chris Henry and be like, I want you to come here. I need you to come here and join me. Not because, not because of this, and this, but because this is a place that you're going to develop the best. This is the place you're going to be cared for. This is the place where the team is going to have your best interest no matter what. And Kruger gets it. The Prime aura is absolutely real. Absolutely real. And we're seeing it each and every day, guys. This is so different. So different. Jeanette Fox, anybody going to the Houston game? Let Jeanette know in the chat if anybody is going to the Houston game. I haven't even looked at the schedule to think about what I want to go to. I'll have to look at it again and kind of figure out which game I want to go attend this upcoming year. Last year, I got to go to the Oklahoma State game, last game of the season. Didn't get to be as important as it originally was, but man, was it fun. And I took my wife to her very first CU game, by the way. That 52-0 blowout was a lot of fun. She got into it. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed her time watching that game. Russ, my boy, he is from Gainesville, Florida, and I played against him in high school. So Clinton and I grew up together. So happy for him. Oh, you're talking about Clinton. Oh, I know. Portis is the truth, dude. That guy was unbelievable his time here. Absolutely loved Clinton Portis. One of my favorite Broncos. Still have my Portis jersey somewhere in the closet from when he was here because he was just so much fun to watch play. When he decommits, that's when I'll believe that. You speaking craziness. Earlier you said when he comes on an official visit. Are we changing it to decommit now? When we see Travis Schroeder get drafted top 5, we will set the standard for CU to get top recruits. And not just that, Lil Bucket. Where the other guys get drafted. Okay? If we see 5 or 6 CU players drafted this draft, that's going to help a ton. Because I think a lot of people would say, well, that's Shador and Travis. Of course, they're getting drafted top 5. Is that a big deal? Is that because of Colorado? Is that because of Coach Prime? What is that because of? And my answer to that will be, if we get 5 players, I don't know what the record is. So let me see if there's we'll search. But you know what? We'll chat GPT it. I'm going to chat GPT to see if I can get the answer to that, guys, and figure out what was the number 1 NFL draft for CU and how long has it been? Because I can't remember what the best CU NFL draft was. Okay. Which NFL draft did the Colorado Buffaloes have the most players drafted into the NFL? Let's see what the answer is. Oh my gosh. Guys, you want to know what the most was? Here we go. The 1976 NFL draft was the year when the Colorado Buffaloes had the most drafted into the NFL, with 10 players selected, with the most notable being first rounder Pete Brock. List the top 10 drafts with the most Buffaloes. Let's see what the other numbers are. Okay, so 1976, 10 players. 1974, 9 players. 1973, 9 players. 1975, 8 players. You can obviously tell that was a good time frame for the Colorado Buffaloes. Then 1995, 8 players. 1977, 7 players. 1980, 7 players. 91, that's the national championship years. 1991, 7 players. 93, 7 players. And 97, 7 players. The 70s and 90s were especially strong era for CU in the NFL draft, with several standout players making their way to the league. Let me know if you want details on any of the specific draft classes. Can anybody say, I just love AI. I love AI when I can use it for things like this. Okay. Juju to Chris Henry Jr. sounds awesome. CU Buffs, you get it. CU Buffs, you get it. Russ, he said the man is coming to CU and he's still committed to Ohio State. I get that. But I also said that Juju was coming to CU and he was committed to USC. I think a lot of us did. Just saying. Miami had 17, I think. Are you saying 17 players drafted? Because yes, I can imagine that. That was probably during their really good years. They had some darn good Miami teams. I believe that Prime was always going to get the chance to speak with Chris Henry Jr. no matter what, with the due to his connection with Pac-Man, but this strengthens it even more. Agreed, Matt. And I think it at least gets us there where we can see that visit happen. Okay. where we can see that visit happen. Okay. You guys are absolutely hilarious in the draft. So it's been a while since Colorado. Give me the next 10. I want to see if 5 or 6. When was the last time that happened? Okay, so 6 players: 1967, 1972, 1978, 1983, 1990, 1994. 6 players: 2006 players, 69 5 players, 71 5 players, 87. So guys, we have not seen in more than 2 decades even like 5 CU players drafted. So if we can get 5 drafted this year, things are going to start looking up big time for Colorado. So something to look forward to when we go into the NFL draft. Aces Walks need to schedule a non-conference West Coast game for SoCal recruiting purposes. Might be long time to schedule Prime's old friend at San Diego State. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that is happening whatsoever. Colorado football non-conference schedule. Let's see what the earliest is that we can do that. Okay, future schedules. Okay, so next year, Georgia Tech, Delaware, Wyoming, then Georgia Tech, Weber State, Northwestern, Colgate, Northwestern, Northern Illinois, UMass, Florida, Northern Colorado. We're going to Florida, guys. We're going to Florida in 2028. Something to pay attention to. Then Florida's coming here. We're finally back with Colorado State starts back up in 2029. 2030, we've got SMU. We're going to Texas, Missouri, and Colorado State. 2031, Missouri, SMU, Northern Colorado, not Colorado State. So Colorado State's just a 2-year term. Then we've got North Texas, Colorado State. So it looks like we take off 2 years and then we come back 4 years, and then Colorado State. So we've got some openings. The earliest we can schedule a Southern California team would be 2029, although we are playing against Florida that year. So I don't think that would be a good year to do that, because you're probably going to play against a better SoCal team at that point. So something to think about. I agree on that. That would be a smart thing to do. It's time to get my 19-month-old a CU onesie. Got to make him a fan. Absolutely get him that Buffalo onesie. Get him a nice Buffalo head too. I don't think they make baby sizes or even kid sizes. They make kid sizes. That'd be funny. So you'd be lucky to get 5 this year, just being real. I mean, I could see it. There's a chance. There's an outside chance at 5. I can name 5. Shador, Travis, Cam, LeJounte, BJ. I think that's the 5 that I could see get drafted, guys. 5. I think it's going to happen. Could be even more if somehow Jimmy has a really good combine to where he could be a low-end draft pick. The other option, obviously, see what happens with Will. He obviously did have a very good Shrine Bowl that he had a lot of talk to. So we'll have to see. I would love to see the Buffs give the Aztecs the belt. Let sleeping dogs lie. I love it. Schedules are done ahead of time. Kruger, I know. Yeah. But the earliest opening that we have for schedule is 2029. We're set right now for the next 4 years. We're full. 2030, 2031 is full. 2029, we have an opening for 1 right now. And then 2032 and beyond, we either have 2 or 1 opening as well. Faxmac, I think the OSU was in the driver's seat till this Peko got hired. And again, Russ just told y'all, Juju stayed committed to USC at the last minute, so teams would stay away. Commitment means nothing anymore, guys. Commitment means nothing anymore. And I will agree, when anybody ever commits to Colorado, I will be weary of them flipping at any moment. Okay. It's why I was so impressed with a guy like Mantrez Walker staying committed with Colorado for so long. Big props to the young man. Big props. And I will always have a lot of respect for him. Absolutely. There's Prime baby stuff. Got to get that Prime baby stuff going. That's for sure. Cooking again, says Rev. We got it. I think it'll be Jeanette says 9. Who are the 9 do you think that will get drafted? Let me know. Put it in the chat. I want everybody right now, and if you're watching this later on and you're watching all the way through the live, thank you so much. I appreciate when you guys let me know that. Comment down below, say, hey, I watched through, and I think here are all the players that will be drafted to the NFL. In the comments, I will highlight your comment. I will talk to you and respond. Let me know later on after the live if you're watching this later on. Yeah, they're wide receiver you. Absolutely. But there's only so many wide receivers that can be on the field at the same time. Just saying, you can only get so many 5-star wide receivers to play. If he wants to play right away, if any of the guys want to play right away, they may want to go elsewhere instead of, Ohio State taking 3 5-stars every year. We'll see. When we focus on offensive line recruits, we are right now. I mean, there are a lot of guys that we have offered. A lot of guys. Now, if you're talking about transfer portal, might be a little bit different, but we're going on it. We are focused on it. We have a lot of offers right now out there. C needs to focus on the trenches. Yep, I know. I agree. Because the trenches are the easier one to be built through recruiting, because it takes a couple years for those guys to usually develop, unless you're the top cream of the crop like a Jordan Seaton. That's really it. So Coach Dre thinks that Shador, Travis, Will, Cam, BJ, Wester, Horn, and then Shiloh. Woohoo! So you got 8. If Jimmy runs a high 4.2 or low 4.3, he'll be drafted. And that's what I agree with that, Rev. I really do. I agree with that 100%. I've said that since the beginning. Like, if he got invited to the combine, I said that's going to be huge for him. And then I also said that, yes, if he can run in the 4.3 range, then I think he's going to get drafted. This is another one we forget about, Chidoze. I do think Chidoze could be drafted. He could be in a good spot to do that. So that's another one I think we forget. Could be 9. There's your 9. So I could see why Jeanette says 9. I could. This Chris Henry Jr. debate reminds me of the Juju saga again. Quite a lot of people were completely wrong about him not going to Colorado. Oh, people were adamant. I mean, USC fans were making fun of us left and right last spring when we thought that we had a chance at Juju. And then over the summer, when it looked like we were going to get Juju, oh, it's not going to happen. And then the whole season goes by and it's like, oh, we still got Juju. And then at the very last second, it's like, we don't need Juju. We've got Houston Street. We don't need Juju. Juju's not even good. It's just hilarious to see the narrative change throughout the year from these so-called fans. I mean, I guarantee, I hope that Ohio State fans are not like that, especially they just want a national championship. USC fans can crash out all they want. They have not won in quite a while and wasted the talent that they have. And you can probably blame Lincoln Riley for that, but that's where it's at. So something to think about. When it comes to who's going to get drafted and what's going to happen there. Interesting thing to be able to see. Chidoze will be a sleeper pick. I think he'll be a great player. I hope he gets drafted. If not, he's going to be a great player wherever he goes. People need to realize you got handling those 4 losses. Trenches are the problem. We all know the trenches are the problem. I don't think does anybody not realize that trenches are a problem when you look especially at how we lost? We all know. Everybody in the world knows. Heck, everybody in the college football world knows that we weren't as good of a team as we could have been because of the trenches. We gotta improve. I think defensively, we have improved a lot in the defensive trenches. I do. Do I want more? Always. The offensive trenches, I think we improved itty bitty. We need more there. Okay, Turbo says Travis, Shador, LeJohntay, BJ, Will, Shiloh, and Jimmy. That's right, forgot. And we all forget sometimes a couple players. I do it all the time too. Okay, Jeanette has Travis, Shador, Cam, Green, LeJohntay, Shepard, Shiloh, Jimmy, and Chidoze. So they are the 9 that I thought. Good call, Jeanette. Good call. Juju was coming on campus, so Chris Henry Drew have to start coming on campus now. He just have to plan to come, and with Peko just hired, who knows? Let's see if we get a official visit from him. Let's do it. Let's see if we get an official visit from him. That's the 9. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I would agree with that. I can see the 9 being a potential. They're all potential. Yep. We are improving. Jeanette gets it. 8 is a stretch. Y'all tripping. Okay, we'll see. Don't give a damn. Come back and watch. You can talk to everybody in here when it happens. Oh man. Okay. So I'm going to call it for today. Appreciate you guys coming for this hour-long stream again. Domata Peko is your new defensive line coach. Unbelievable hire by Coach Prime. And it looks like we're just looking for maybe a couple of analyst positions that might be open if they aren't already filled and we just don't know yet. So that's something to keep an eye on here in the next several weeks. Guys, we're only, a couple weeks away from spring practice? 3 weeks away from spring practice? you know, it's almost there, guys. It's almost there. Glad we could talk about this little bit of information and news today. Glad we had something going on. And again, I think it's a perfect hire for Colorado, perfect for Coach Livingston, perfect for the team. Unbelievable stuff. Can't wait to see it. Okay. Let's see. I hope sincerely that we get more than 9 just to see what Don't Give a Damn says. I mean 8. We just have to get more than 8 because he says 8 is a stretch and we're tripping. 8 is a stretch. You better get to buying, says Jeanette. I absolutely love it. Yep. Stay blessed, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hey, on your way out, hit that like button. We got 250 in the chat. Can we get to 150 likes on this video? I don't know. I think we can. So on your way out, do that. If not, come back, do it later. Whatever. If you're watching this, make sure you're liking it on the way out. Make sure you're subscribed. We are getting closer to 4,500 subscribers. We were very close after last video. Went down a couple. Love when that happens. But we're going to be back up. We're going to be back up. We're going to be going for it. And, that's where we're at. Okay. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. We will be back later on, potentially in the week, unless there is some more breaking news that happens at some point. But we'll take a look at what's happening around the Buffs, the draft, all of our players, and we will report on all of it for all of you to know. So thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you guys as always. Like I said, and for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm your host, Russ Dornish. And as always, Go Buffs.